You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
I almost forgot their name there. This is our second attempt at getting going tonight. This is our Week 10 pick show. Coming off our first losing week since Week 2.
Wow. That's a pretty good run.
It's a good run, but we got to get back on the winning horse, Boyd. Like, this is just not acceptable.
Yeah, no more death clause. I'll let you figure that one out for yourselves. But if you listen to the podcast from our recap show, you'll get it.
Okay, that said, we're still fighting some Skype issues here, so I say we get right to it.
Let's do it.
All right, you know what time it is.
It's motherfucking game time!
That's right, it's motherfucking game time. Thursday's game to kick off the week. Buffalo are 2.5-point underdogs going to the Jets.
I don't know what each team is here, which one's going to show up. Is it the one that lost to the Raiders and got torched in the secondary? Is Sammy Watkins going to kill the Jets? Cromartie's been dinged up. Can they stop the running game? LaShawn McCoy seemed to get going the last week. I'm taking the Jets just based on the overall history of home teams win on Thursday night. The road teams generally stink for whatever reason. And this road team's going a couple of 100 miles, but I don't know. I don't trust Rex Ryan and the Bills.
No, you make valid points, and it's two crappy teams, and you're right. They're crappy teams without really an identity. Chris Ivory has run for nothing since Mangold is down. He might try again, but he left last week's game early. So, and that's about all they've got. They've got Ryan Fitzpatrick. I guess Decker and Marshall are good. This could go either way, but I'm going to take Buffalo on this, I think.
Ooh.
Going to grab some points. I got to gain 5 games on you.
The Thursday nighter's not the place. The Bills have been inconsistent all year, too. That's like when they blew out Miami in that game you talked me into several weeks ago. I thought, okay, this is the team I thought that beat Indy and what we thought they were going to be going into the year. Thought they'd shown up, and then it's been win-loss ever since. So, too inconsistent. They're a Rex Ryan team.
Both of them, yeah.
Well, the Jets are actually... I honestly think the Jets are a better team than the Bills right now. I just don't know which. Are we going to get good Bills or bad Bills tomorrow? That's the biggest reason I'm taking the Jets. If I knew they were going to get the team that beat the Dolphins, I'd take the Bills too. But this is, I won't watch a down of it. But
no, I won't either. Fallout 4 exists. All
yeah.
Right. Next up, we cannot bet either. Carolina are 5.5-point favorites going to Tennessee. You're a remarkably surprising Tennessee team.
Well, you can't call them remarkably surprising at 2-6. Just because they beat New Orleans, who I don't have a whole lot of respect for defensively anyway. I'm actually surprised this line is this low. I thought it'd be a touchdown.
I thought it would be 7.5 as well. Over the last 3 weeks, your run defense has been playing better, though you've watched more of the games. Is that just the case that no one's really trying to run against them? Or,
well, we couldn't stop Atlanta's run game. We did well against New Orleans. And against Houston, there's no Arian Foster. And if we had... And I've said this because of the locker thing for the last 3 years leading up to this. If our quarterback's healthy, we had some more wins. But we have to keep our quarterback upright in order for any of that to fucking matter. So Carolina's defense, fucking Aaron Rodgers had trouble with it for 3 quarters. How's a rookie quarterback going to do? I can see a couple of picks here setting up easy scores for the Panthers, even just field goals. Because our defense is good enough, we should be able to stack the box on the run because all they have is Olsen receiving as a deep threat anyway. So, or of any kind of threat. If we can't cover them man to man,
Jr. might get open, but it's about a 20% chance he'll actually catch any ball if it gets to him. So,
like, if I wasn't scared of Carolina's defense for a rookie quarterback, because the 2 teams he's done really well against are New Orleans and Tampa.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that facing Carolina's defense it's the best defense he's faced this year, I think, by far.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm going to take Carolina.
See, if it wasn't for that defense and my fear of them turning the ball over, we got a running game going. New offensive line combination against New Orleans. Didn't give up a sack. Jesus. Now I have to take care. How can I bet against 8-0? I'm taking Carolina.
All right. Next up, we have Chicago +7 at the Rams.
How are the Rams 7-point favorites over anybody?
Because Chicago's not good. San Diego's defense, for the most part, shut down Chicago, for God's sake.
No, but Chicago played the same game against Minnesota as the Rams did. It was the same fucking game. If you watched any of each of those games, the Bears played Minnesota as tough as the Rams did. How does that make you a 7-point favorite? I don't know how they're going to cover Alshon Jeffrey. Maybe the travel from going from San Diego back to Chicago on a short week might affect them, but there's no way I'm fucking laying 7 with the Rams. No fucking way. Gurley's good, but fuck, that's all they've got. Fisher's fucking playing every game like he did in Tennessee. They get into overtime, he's doing fuck all. Like,
I have no respect for my Chargers team, and the Bears were able to move the ball on them fairly effectively. That game could have been a lot worse than the score. And, you know, for 3 quarters, the Chargers hung tight. St. Louis's defense is a lot better. I'm going to swallow hard and back the Fisher team here.
Oh.
And I'm not just being contrary, trying to gain games on you here, boys.
No, I know. Rams is 7-point favorites with Jeff Fisher, 2 plays to win every game by a field goal. There's no fucking way.
Fair enough. That's a solid point.
And Cutler is better than Teddy Bridgewater. And Jeffrey's pretty good. They got Martellus Bennett. They'll put up some points against the Rams.
Okay.
And the Rams can't score. Fucking Nick Foles. Fuck. 7-point favorite. Ugh.
Yeah.
That line actually pisses me off, if you can't tell.
No, I can sense that. All right. Next game up, we have Cleveland +4.5 at Pittsburgh. Of course, Pittsburgh is without Roethlisberger.
If Landry gets the ball to fucking Antonio Brown, they figured that out. That was the problem in the other games when Vic was starting. Fucking Brown would get targeted 3 times a game because Vic has a progression of a fucking kindergarten kid. So I'm taking the Steelers.
I'm even considering putting this into the mix, Boyd.
Well, if I knew if McCown was starting or not, it would make that a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true. If it's Manziel,
it's fucking lights out.
Yeah.
McCown's had a surprisingly decent year.
D'Angelo Williams is looking like the best off-season signing for a team, though I don't know it'll be enough. But he's still providing them a really, really solid running game in the absence of quarterbacks and Le'Veon Bell. I don't mind Pittsburgh here at home. Plus, it's Pittsburgh at home, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to get at least a half dozen calls that go wildly in their favor.
It's probably an Ed Hockey League game.
Yeah, probably.
Or the Black Grandpa we had doing the Titans game on Sunday. Holding defense number 23. 10-yard penalty.
And
first down.
Could someone fetch me a cup of tea?
Oh, fuck. It was terrible. Not the calls, just listening to him when he had to make a call. It was like, I don't even know. But, okay, we can put this in the mix. I'm not overly confident after the Raiders put up 35.
Yeah, but the Raiders are a lot better. Yeah, if McCown's starting, this might be a delayed bet if we can't find anything better. But
yeah,
Pittsburgh's still overall not a bad team, and the Raiders, I think we both agree, are a pretty good team. So them scoring on you is not the worst thing on the planet. It's not last year anymore. No. All right. Next up, we have Dallas plus 1.5 at Tampa Bay. I want to stay away from this.
This is a dog shit pile.
Like,
that's my new, instead of dumpster fire, dog shit pile.
Okay. I prefer it. It's fresher. Sorry.
Because this... The Dallas defense has played better than I thought they ever would. But when your best option's Matt Castle...
Yeah, I mean, and they've been moving the chains a lot, Dallas has, but then it'll be a shocking turnover or a brutal penalty or something just keeps them from winning any of these games. Like, they must have lost 4 games by a total of 10 points in this losing streak.
Well, how many games did they lose by? Like, didn't they lose by a point to Seattle? Lost in overtime to the Eagles. And there's some other close games in there, too, that they could have won.
Yeah.
That didn't. It's not like they're getting blown out, but if they had a competent quarterback, fuck, they're probably maybe 6-3 instead of, or 6-2 instead of 2-6.
Yeah, or they're at least a 500 team, or should be even without Romo, looking at the rest of that team. But they've just keep finding a way to lose in heartbreaking fashion. But because I am the type who gets burned twice, I'm going to take Dallas here. I haven't watched much of Tampa Bay. Like, I haven't seen enough of them to have an opinion. I've heard...
I saw one half against Jacksonville. I think Des Bryant will have a good day if Castle can get him the ball.
Yeah, Castle's really not good. Really, really not good.
Well, did you listen to Simmons' podcast with Cousin Sal?
No. I missed
Cousin
that
Sal
this week. So.
He said that's proof of cheating in New England if Belichick could make Castle 11-5.
Yeah, there we go. Case closed. Okay. So we are both on Dallas on that game. Next up, we have Detroit plus 11.5 at Green Bay. Welcome to Offensive Lines. Again, we were at Detroit going to Green Bay. I think 11.5 is too much. What do you think?
I do too. It's fucking way too much for Green Bay. I don't trust Detroit really at all. but nothing out of Green Bay has shown me, except for that quarter against Carolina, that they've got anything fucking figured out. No running game. Starks is now the number one running back in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Over Lacey. So there's shit going on. They're shoving each other on the sidelines in Carolina. The defense, something's going on there. So, I'm taking Detroit even though they stink. 11.5's too much.
Well, I'm going at Green Bay again, but I don't like it one bit. My only reason is Green Bay at home has owned the Lions by like 17 to 30 plus for years. That's all I've got for reasoning there.
Yeah, bye week for Detroit. I'll take it.
Okay, well, they still have a zombie coach, but...
Yeah, changed offensive coordinator. I'll give him a chance.
All right, next up we have Jacksonville plus 5.5 at Baltimore. I don't mind the Jags in this spot.
No, I don't either. But we've been saying that for, about 6 weeks in a row?
Yeah, and they've been covering, though.
Except when we bet them.
I don't think they turned on us.
Yeah, didn't we take them in Tampa?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been covering every time except when we bet them. Pitt has been advised not to play ever again. The Ravens aren't putting him in. Smith's out. I don't know how they cover Hearns and what's the other dude's name?
Robinson. Jacksonville held Chris Ivory to like 40 yards last week. So if it's all the 4-set show, I think Jacksonville can do that.
Holy.
Jacksonville's secondary is terrible, but one thing they have been doing is putting up points.
Yeah. Yeah, Bortles is throwing, but he throws too many picks. 350, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Let's keep this in the mix for our underdog pick anyway.
Yeah, I think it might be a good underdog pick. I'm going to take Jacks whether we go that way or not.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I don't trust Baltimore.
No, they beat the Chargers, but that really means nothing. Next up, we have Miami plus 6.5 at Philly.
I like this game. You?
You know me and Philly. Which side do you want? I don't even know. I just look at Philly and think, I'm going to get it wrong.
Well, I like the Eagles. Miami got fucking shellacked in Buffalo. We both like Philly's defense. Tannehill is a bust. Almost all those fucking quarterbacks that came out of that draft outside of Luck are fucking terrible. And Luck's, I don't know how he regressed so bad. I think he's scared.
Well, you heard he has a lacerated kidney now, too.
Oh, yeah. No, I know he's out.
Yeah.
But
it's a bye week, so that's completely irrelevant.
But anybody that I pick in fantasy, yeah, just fucking count on them cratering for a year.
until you cut the line, let them free, and then they're back to their usual excellence. No.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind Philly here, but
here we go again with fucking Skype.
Oh, fuck.
Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep this one in the mix, too. You're good with Philly.
Okay.
I struggle with them. The next game up is New Orleans -1 at Washington.
I don't want to touch this one.
No, I don't have a clue.
Saints give up too many points.
By far. Washington scores 1 week out of 3, but then scores a bundle. I have no idea how they ever put a point on the board looking at their lineup.
Well, Washington defense is a little frisky, and the Titans just torched them for fucking 34. I'm taking Washington in the points.
Yeah, I'm joining you on that.
Oh, fuck. You're supposed to pick the NFC East. You son of a bitch.
Trapped you. No, you got into a bad pattern there by jumping in with Philly. So, all right. Next game up, Minnesota +3 at Oakland.
These are two of my favorite teams to bet on.
I know. When I was writing down the spreads today, I just thought, wow, this really sucks because we've been backers of both these squads.
I actually, with the price, I like the Raiders.
Yeah?
Bridgewater's not, they're not going to, the Vikings don't put up a lot of points.
No. My
And
big
Oakland-
worry on the Raiders is they gave up just under 200 yards to D'Angelo last week.
Yeah, and they couldn't cover fucking Brown either.
No. So
But I think
Stephon
that was
Diggs.
part of the-
So what is this going to be, the Diggs Peterson show?
Yeah, but who's the backup in Minnesota?
Well, Bridgewater's already cleared the protocol.
Yeah, but he hasn't practiced.
Yeah.
And how much is he going to be in if he gets hit? Like, do we think Diggs is Antonio Brown?
Oh, certainly not. Though he's a fine young receiver.
Yeah, but the Steelers have more than one weapon, so the Raiders couldn't concentrate on one guy. I know. I like the price the Raiders are getting at +100 at -3. Fuck.
Well, we'll throw it in the mix for now, but I almost think it's a stay away because there's a lot of questions here.
No, I know, and they're
I can't
6-2,
even think
4-4.
off the top of my head how well Minnesota travels.
well, they got pummeled in San Francisco.
Yeah,
by the
that's true.
Niners. Well, they may not like the Bay Area much.
I just
And what
it's
Peterson
the
run for
Adrian
against the Rams?
Peterson.
80?
Yeah, that's the Rams, though. I mean, Oakland just gave up $1 billion to the running backs. We can't even guess on the San Diego game because Oakland was up so fast. I'm taking Oakland, too, and if you like it more than others, you could easily talk me into this one as
Well,
a bet.
the only thing I'm thinking about Oakland is like it was so many things to worry about with the Steelers. With Roethlisberger and Brown and D'Angelo Williams and the tight end and Bryant and fucking all those guys. Man. I know Peterson fucking looks okay here and there, but they can't. The Vikings don't score enough to stay with this team.
No.
Like fucking Alshon Jeffrey was wide open all day against Minnesota's defense. I can't believe I'm talking against Minnesota when I've fucking been betting them the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But
Well, these are probably two of our favorite teams, gambling-wise, this year.
they've been undervalued.
Well, we got burned on Minnesota in week 1, but we wisely decided not to give up on them. And we've cashed at least 2, I think 3 bets on them. One that
And
I
Oakland,
refused to
same
take
thing.
that we would have cashed. Okay, well, it's definitely in the mix. We'll see what comes up here.
Yeah.
Next up, we have KC +6 at Denver.
Not touching this fucking game. Peyton Manning's noodle arm.
Noodle
Fuck,
arm,
he
and
looked
now
awful.
they're saying, oh, well, his foot hurts and it's hurt for a long time.
There's no way those ducks he was throwing. If your foot hurts, it doesn't make the ball wobble. And the decision making he had against Indy, those picks over the middle were fucking ducks.
Yeah, that said,
There's no.
I mean,
I
even
can't bet
without
it.
even without Ware. Oh no, I'm not arguing to bet it. Even without Ware, that defense is solid. Well, Talib, of course, will be out for the game.
Yeah.
because of another wise decision. Yeah, I want to stay away. Denver could react one of two ways. Actually look like a football team, that unifies, or the first crack in the armor could bring them tumbling down.
Well, you've been saying it all year, how lucky their wins have been, and I was just taking them based on their defense.
Yeah. And
now you've got wear out.
When the defense doesn't score a touchdown.
But they did. They had the fucking special teams touchdown and they lost. Like, Manning put up 17 points in that game.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a stay away.
I'm taking Kansas City.
I'm taking Denver at home, but don't get me wrong. This was not something I was going to advocate betting under any circumstances.
Kansas City's had the week off. Their defense is still pretty good, even though their record is not. That was a strong point going into the season. With Talib out, Ware out, I got to take KC.
Denver's O-line looks terrible.
Yeah, they can't run the ball. Vernon Davis didn't have a catch. What the fuck did you trade for him for? I don't know what the fuck they're doing in Denver. Not a fucking clue.
Next up, we have New England, -7 at the New York Giants.
Do we put this one in the mix?
When these two teams meet, it's so goddamn fucked.
Yeah, but this isn't the Giants' defense that beat them twice in the Super Bowl.
No. New England...
It's not.
Yeah. Dion Lewis really hurts New England, but Blunt is enough to at least make running the game a threat. They're not Detroit, right? Where it's Joique Bell or Amir Abdullah.
And what is Bill Belichick the best at doing? And the Giants have one weapon.
Beckham, yeah.
He takes away what you do best, and then you got to beat him with everybody else. This isn't the same Giants teams that were beating them in the Super Bowl. If this is a push, or whatever, but we didn't take him against fucking Washington when it was 14, and they covered. This team scores 30 in their sleep. How are the Giants covering Edelman? They've got Amendola involved now, Gronkowski, Blount.
Yeah, okay.
There's not a lot there that we've said, okay, that's in the mix. We've got the Eagles, the Raiders, and this one.
Jacksonville.
And maybe Jacksonville, but...
Maybe Pittsburgh.
My favorite underdog pick's
coming
coming
up.
up.
Pittsburgh in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, really? No, I'm... Okay, we're gonna get into this. Okay, that's New England both ways. And we are moving on to Arizona +3 at Seattle.
Why don't you like this game? Because of how Arizona plays on the road?
Exactly. They got
Seattle...
They got throttled by Pittsburgh on the road. Throttled.
Yeah,
and that wasn't that Pittsburgh had offensive weapons flying at them. That was because they could not move against a Pittsburgh defense at all on the road. Arizona built up a lot of easy wins. Fitzgerald has more or less disappeared now. Brown, you never know if he's going to start or not. I mean, they made that decision 2 minutes before the game time.
The defense in Arizona is good enough to shut down the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense isn't what it was. Like, they won 13-12 in Dallas.
But
this is a push. They're saying this game's even, giving Seattle the 3.
Yeah, and I would rather have a team that scores points regularly, London, wherever they travel. They don't have a home Jacksonville. As an underdog pick, I prefer this because Seattle will come and bite your ass at home. Whether it's
They almost
batting the
lost
ball
to
out of
Detroit at home. They
but
almost lost to
didn't,
Detroit
and
at
they
home.
covered. But Arizona did lose to Pittsburgh on the road. Like, it was 17-3 or whatever it was, and it wasn't like... I don't know that we know that Arizona is a good defense.
Yeah, but we know Seattle's a bad team. They're overvalued, right? They're overrated. Still.
Yeah.
Lost in Green Bay. Beat Detroit by a miracle, which they should have lost that game. And we're getting 3. Seattle doesn't score points. But I'll acquiesce to Jacksonville or did we have any others? No.
No. All right.
But this is Arizona's statement game. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Okay. It's arguable. I detest Seattle, but I'm taking them. It's a do or die here for them. I know motivation is of questionable value, but...
Well, no, I was the one saying, okay, last year at this time they came back. They haven't. That switch hasn't flipped.
No, the switch hasn't flipped, but I'm not a big believer in Arizona either. I mean, I think we both said it. Arizona is just complete. There's something wrong with them out of the desert. And I think we should stick by that, or I'm going to stick by that.
I'm taking Arizona.
Okay, next up, the Monday Nighter. Houston plus 10.5 at Cincinnati.
I don't hate this game.
Neither do I, but 10.5?
Yeah, but they just beat Cleveland by 20.
Yeah.
And Hoyer...
I think they've got enough in the secondary to shut down DeAndre Hopkins, who is the only weapon rush Houston has.
Yeah, the pass rush is good in Cincinnati.
J.J. Watt can't do it all, and since he almost has enough O-linemen to triple team him on every play, because no one else seems to do fuck all.
And the secondary is a huge issue in Houston.
Well, again, the team we don't like that are on the bye, Atlanta just torched that team.
Yeah.
And I think Cincy has far more weapons. I mean, I was saying to Dave at work, for fantasy, Cincy is almost too good for fantasy now, because you can't count on anybody getting the ball.
No.
One week it'll be A.J. Green, then Eifert. Hill will score 3 touchdowns one week and disappear. Bernard usually puts up at least 80, but hardly any TDs. Like, they've just got so many weapons. And with Marvin Jones, and Mohamed Sanu even will chip in a catch here and there, you know?
Yeah, and there were 2 running backs. They're so balanced now on offense, you can't... Oh, we got to get a Dalton to stop the game. No, you can't. They've figured something out, and their defense is good. Might not be great, an all-timer, but it's good.
Yeah. And
they have good special teams. And I don't like Adam Jones, but he's still one of the best punt returners in football.
Yeah.
And their defense turns the field. They shift field position. I don't know how Hoyer does fuck anything against these guys.
Yeah, I kind of like this game too.
Houston's bad. I know they beat Tennessee, but they're fucking bad.
They really are.
Bad,
I mean, one great receiver there. That's what they've
Wasn't Hopkins kind of dinged up too?
Is he hurt? I didn't know that, so...
Well, I don't know if he's not play. He's going to play, but I think he's dinged up a little. Could be totally wrong. He's not the only Hopkins in football, but I think I read somewhere he was a little dinged up. But yeah, I like this game.
We're both on Cincy. That's in the mix. So, I'm going to take Cleveland-Pittsburgh off the board. We don't really know who or what is going to show up at quarterback there. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with that.
Then we have, for our underdogs, we have Jacksonville plus 5.5 at Baltimore, Arizona plus 3 at Seattle.
Now we'll go Jacksonville.
Okay, let's do it.
So we're taking Jacksonville plus 5.5 in Baltimore. $10 pays $19.09 booked. All right.
For our other games, we have Philly minus 6.5, New England minus 7, or Cincy minus 10.5.
Ay, caramba.
Well, how strong do you feel about Philly? Because I'm bloody cursed on those guys. So.
Well, let's take the 2-8-0 teams. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Better than Sam Bradford. They're the two best quarterbacks in the AFC right now.
Yeah, with a wide margin between them, but I take your point.
Yeah, I'm not comparing the two, but that's like if we're in denial here about something or in fucking some kind of quandary to who we're going to pick, how do we pick against 8-0?
Yeah.
So we've got New England. Oh, sorry, we got New England minus 7 at the Giants. $10 pays $18.33. Booked. That line will probably be 8 or 9 by Sunday. And we have Cincinnati minus 10.5 at home to face the Texans. $10 pays $19.52. Booked. Now I think we skip our parlay bet this week.
Yes.
That's my vote. Just let's get back on the winning track.
Yep, no, that was always the way it was. We're still ahead on it, but let's just go with our base here today. So, to summarize, we have Jacksonville plus 5.5 at Baltimore. $10 pays $19.09. We have New England minus 7 at the New York Giants. $10 pays $18.33. And we have Cincy minus 10.5. $10 pays $19.52. I think that's the most points we've laid this year.
It is. But how do you pick Denver? The only other game that I would have fought for more forcefully is the Oakland-Minnesota game.
Yes.
But especially, they just don't score, but we went over that. But I'm happy with our picks. We've done well all year hashing it out like this, so I don't second guess at all.
No, not till Monday. That's what our recap show is for. I just want to apologize to the listeners for this one's going to sound a little bit ragged. Skype was just brutal to us again today. So it's going to be a little patched together, but the information's there, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, and if anybody has any info on a different app we could use to connect other than Skype, send us a tweet at Offensive Lines or at O-Lines Marlon or at O-Lines Boyd to give us a heads up. We're going to test out some other shit this week, but if we have something that we can go on as a recommendation would be great. So,
yeah, not through the phones
for any help.
Like voice over internet, because I've got to get it into Audio Hijack Pro. But if anyone could help us out, we'd love it. All
right. If you want to check out this shitty version of our podcast, you can listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device. on our website, offensivelines.ca. I already gave you our Twitter shit, so otherwise go to facebook.com/offensivelines, and if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and those are our picks for Week 10.
Fuck Skype.
Generous fucking gambler.